There's so many people nowadays, and this is actually why I am also very interested in career orientation, that just wake up in the morning and really don't want to go to their office. Can you imagine the number of hours, the number of days that we spend on professional time? Do you have an idea of that number actually? The number of hours in your lifetime, on average, that you will dedicate to your profession. 80,000 plus. It's a huge amount of your time. So you better choose your career quite well. You better choose what you want to do quite well. You better know and investigate where your drive and mission on this planet is. Most of the students that we have at Techno India, which is where also I work, they have no clue. They don't even take time to think, okay, I'm here, these are my skills, these are my interests, this is what is accessible for me to do, let's take this path. They have no clue because they don't even think proactively about how they want to spend these 80,000 hours of theirs. So Ikigai, interestingly also, can be described as the sweet spot between 4 categories. What you're good at, what you love to do, what you can be paid for, important, and what the world needs. What the world needs. I repeat, what the world needs. This is to me so important to what we call entrepreneurship. How many of you know Shark Tank? Right. I also happen to be a binge watcher of Shark Tank. I watch it a lot. So Shark Tank, for the ones who don't know, is an American TV show, reality TV show actually, where you have 5 or 6 very wealthy, very experienced investors, and entrepreneurs come to them and pitch their ideas. For those who have watched Shark Tank, I don't know about you, but I sometimes feel, oh my God, there's so many dollars spent on useless ideas. Right? You would agree on the other day I was watching it. This entrepreneur came to the investors with the idea of wine for cats. Wine for cats, and he actually got an investment. 500,000 or something from one of the sharks, one of the investors. To me, this is not where entrepreneurship lies. To me, this is not where ethic lies. The only point of my talk today is to really urge you to think about the impact that you're going to have, or you are already having through your venture, beyond the profits that you're generating. So think Ikigai, which by Japanese terms is actually one of the keys to happiness, even beyond success. What you're good at, what you love to do, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. This 4th dimension to me is so important. Who knows about this framework? Yes, can you tell us what you know?
So, ASIC society, right? ASIC society, something like that.
ASIC?
Yeah,
Yes.
ASIC, yes.
So ASIC is one of the organizations, that promotes this framework.
Yeah.
So this framework, and you need to know about it because the world is talking about it since 2015. It's called the Sustainable Development Goals. It's a framework that was issued by the United Nations in 2015 and provides a series of 17 rules that the individuals and organizations have to follow worldwide so that we have a more sustainable world. Back to another definition. What is sustainability? What is sustainable? What is sustainable development? Someone?
No.
Sorry? Yes. Continuous. Yes, sir?
How long term we can sustain in our startup?
Yes. So it's actually a very good point. Sustainability, if you try to guess, You have the verb sustain. Sustain is to last for a while, for long. Another hand was raising? No, so the strict definition of sustainability was coined in 1987 by Prime Minister of Norway, Mrs. Brundtland, in a UN report. And she explains that sustainable development is the set of practices that allow our present generation to meet or to satisfy their basic needs without jeopardizing the next generation's ability to do so as well. And I mean, sadly enough, our human brains are not gifted with the spontaneous ability to think long term. Think about it once. How many times, let's say a week, do you guys think about your child, your children, and your grandchildren? Unless you have children, which is okay, you think about the next generation. But for me, for example, I don't have children. For the youth out there, they don't have children. Do they have this capacity to think beyond themselves, to think further in time than themselves? No, they're too busy with figuring out their career, figuring out their own success, which is obviously human, but very bad for what the future of the planet will be. So let's go quickly through the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and please remember this framework. It's really everywhere around. Rule number 1, no poverty, then no hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, renewable energy, good jobs and economic growth, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, partnership for all these other goals. So it's a really convenient framework for us to picture all of the different areas that we have to work on in order to sustain our society and world better. Now, it's huge. One of my main messages today is that when I talk about social entrepreneurship, when I talk about being impact-driven in entrepreneurship, it should be the case of each and every entrepreneur. Don't tell me that there's no opportunities behind it. It can be seen as a set of problems. It also can be seen as a great set of opportunities and innovation to grab, isn't it? Now, how is India doing in terms of no poverty? Not so good, right? How is it doing in terms of climate action? 14 out of the 15 most polluted cities across the world are in India. When I moved to Kolkata, winter was coming, and winter usually pollution is a bit higher. Air quality index in Kolkata was around, any idea? Oscillating between 300 and 500 depending on the days, depending on the time. In Paris, my city, how was it? How much was it? How was the air quality index? Even below that, 50. And it's a capital city. Of course, there's not so many people, but still decent 10 million people at a metro level. So what is it that we can do better to solve all of these problems? So now, also, gender equality, I like to take that.